Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is September 1st, 2020. I want to discuss the ritual death of the legendary Georgetown Hoyas head coach John Thompson, who died on August 30th at the age of 78. And what I'm going to show you guys in this video is how his death is connected to the Boston Celtics, who are looking pretty good to head to the NBA Finals this year. So, John Thompson, he played for the Boston Celtics. He played 2 years with them. He was drafted back in 1964. And I want you guys to notice how many games he played for the Boston Celtics. He played exactly 74 games. Like how this is the 74th NBA season this year, and the Boston Celtics can face the Los Angeles Lakers in the finals this year. And 74 is a big number. It's always been a big number because, a lot of things connect to the number 74, especially Jesus Christ. And of course, this code is connected to the Bible. But Jack Welch, the CEO of General Electric, who died earlier this year. General Electric sums to 74. He's the CEO of General Electric, the former CEO. And the Boston Celtics, they wear the General Electric patch on their jerseys. And of course, Jack Welch died 213 days before the start of the NBA Finals. In Gematria, the NBA Finals sums to 213. And then he also died 131 days after Brad Stevens' birthday and 68 days before Kemba Walker's birthday. Championship is 131 and 68. So we've been on the Celtics all year, and they, as the days goes on, they look better and better each day. And then, we also had the death of Kobe Bryant, who won his 5th championship versus the Boston Celtics. We also had the death of Stanley Robinson, the former UConn player who played alongside Kemba Walker, the star point guard for the Boston Celtics. He died at the age of 32. Like how Kemba in Negro sums to 32. Big number 32. If Kemba Walker goes to the finals, he'll pick up his 32nd career loss versus LeBron James in the finals. So let's see what happens with that. But so we had the death of Stanley Robinson, Kobe Bryant, Jack Welch. Also, David Stern died this year. He died on New Year's Day. David Stern became the commissioner in 1984. The same year that John Thompson won the championship for Georgetown. Big Jesuit number 84. But in 1984, David Stern, the former commissioner of the NBA, died. Well, he died this year, but he became the commissioner in 1984. That was the same year that LeBron James was born, and that was the year that the Boston defeated the Lakers in the championship. Right? Then we had the death of Cliff Robinson, who also went to UConn, right? And Kemba Walker is a UConn native. And Cliff Robinson died 113 days after Kemba Walker's birthday. The National Basketball Association sums to 113. So all these deaths that happened this year, they've been connecting to the Boston Celtics. And then this man who played 2 seasons with the Celtics just happened to play 74 games for the franchise. What a coincidence. But he died on August 30th. The news came out yesterday on August 31st. But he died on a date with 78 numerology. He also died at the age of 78. Jesuit sums to 78. Of course, Georgetown is a Jesuit university. And Boston Celtics sums to 78. He died the same day that the Boston Celtics won their first win in the second round. It was this game here when I put out the video earlier, right after this game. This was on August 30th. The halftime score was 59-42. Notice what John Thompson sums to in Gematria. Sums to 59. So now I'm thinking like this score at the half was paying tribute to John Thompson, who was probably getting murdered at the time of this game. Yeah, this is how sick all this stuff is. People dying connecting to the championship games. It happens every year, and these numbers are not just any type. They're not just random numbers. These numbers have meaning. These are the numbers stamped all over black people. 59 and 42. And of course, the Kemba Walker scores the 59 point for the Boston Celtics as the time expired in the second quarter. The word Negro sums to 59. The N word, the Nigger word sums to 42. And the day that John Thompson died, it was a day with 42 numerology. They always bring those two numbers together for some reason, 59 and 42. The movie actor Chadwick Boseman, who passed away just a few days before John Thompson, his name Chadwick Boseman sums to 59, and that he died at the age of 42 for another 59 and 42 connection. And again, he played this man here, John Thompson, played for the Boston Celtics in 1964. And like I mentioned, he's known as the first African American coach to win a national championship. This whole year has been, the theme this year has been, African American and, racial injustice and all this other racial propaganda. That's what the whole year has been about, 2020. But again, he died on the day with 42 numerology, and his name sums to 59. And then the day that he died, the Boston Celtics, the team who he used to play for, had a score of 59 to 42 at the half. And Boston Celtics was 78. He died at the age of 78 on the day with 78 numerology. But notice his full name sums to 102, just like Kemba Walker, the star player for the Boston Celtics. And 102 is another number stamped on black people. Notice the N word sums to 102 as well, just like slavery. And this also, being that he was the head coach of Georgetown. Georgetown is a big Jesuit school. I'm pretty sure that this is all connected to the Pope and the Jesuit order, because it looks like they really have their finger on everything, because their numbers always show up. 78 is a big Jesuit number, and so is 84, and that was the year that he won the championship for the Georgetown Hoyas. He also died 85 days after Allen Iverson's birthday. They have a lot of history, him and Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson went to Georgetown. He died 85 days after Allen Iverson's birthday. In basketball equals 85. He was also the coach of Patrick Ewing. He died 26 days after Patrick Ewing's birthday. Game sums to 26. And yeah. So John Thompson, legendary Boston Celtic, dead at the age of 78, the same day that they had this big racial tribute at the halftimes. Thompson led Georgetown to a national championship in 1984. And if you guys have been watching any other videos that I did on the NBA Finals, 1984 is a big year. Like I mentioned, David Stern became the commissioner that year. That was the year that the Celtics won the championship over the Lakers. That was also the year that LeBron James was born. And think about it. Jack Welch also died at the age of 84 this year. And the Boston Celtics, they finished the season with 48 wins, a reflection of 84. Because obviously they couldn't win 84 games, so they just switched it around. They won 48. Boston Celtics equals 48. The NBA Finals equals 48. The Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, also died 33 days before the finals, and Black Panther equals 48. So this stuff is all coming together. I'm seeing what they're doing. Danny Ainge, the general manager of the Boston Celtics, he played in that 1984 NBA Finals versus the Lakers. And the guy's from Oregon, the 74th state. 74, the Jesus Christ number. So, yeah, no cause of death on this man. But, again, this man was murdered. So we don't need a cause of death. And if you guys are new here, what I'm speaking about is Gematria, which is the practice of coding numbers into words. And there's a website that I use to decode my words and phrases. It's known as Gematrinator. Definitely one of the best websites for this practice, because not only do you decode words here, but there's also a link where you can measure from date spans, because that's another part of this code. Date numerology and date spans. So let's go back to the day that Mr. John Thompson died, so I can show you guys what I meant by he died on the day with 42 and 78 numerology. This is what I meant. So when you add 8 plus 30, the month, August is the 8th month of the year, 30th day of the month, 2020, the year. His son's a 78. He died at the age of 78. And then he played for the Boston Celtics. And in Gematria, simple stuff, it's the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. Boston Celtics is 78. It's also 48. And if you look at the standings, they won 48 games this season. Probably because they're going to be in the NBA Finals, which sums to 48 as well. Not guaranteed. Things happen. But I'm just saying they look very good. The Boston Celtics do. So day numerology is important. He died on the day with 42 numerology. And then his name sums to 59. And that was the score at the halftime the day that he died. I don't think that's a coincidence. He also died on the day with 38 numerology. And, whenever these celebrities are murdered, the number 38 always happens to show up because of this. Murder is 38. Death is 38. And, of course, killing and R.I.P. is 38. And, there's other words that sum to 38 that relate to death, like the word stroke sums to 38 as well. There's other words that, think about it. There's a gun they call it, it's called a 38, and 38 special. Now we know why that gun is called 38 special, because that's the number that connects to death, killing, and murder. And what are guns for, Yeah, so this if you guys are new here, it's 4 ciphers that there's multiple ciphers, but these are the 4 base ciphers. It's real simple stuff. It's the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, all the way to Z, the 26th letter. Forwards and then backwards. So, the letter A is the first letter. It has a value of 1. So if you put 3 A's together, it's going to sum to 3, because 1 plus 1 plus 1 is sums to 3. Now, the alphabetic order in reverse is different, because what you're doing in this cipher is you're flipping the alphabetic order around, making A the 26th letter in the alphabet, and making Z the first letter in the alphabet. So notice Z is 26 forwards, but Z becomes 1 in reverse. These 2 ciphers, whenever you get to a double-digit letter, well, not a double-digit letter, a letter with a double-digit value, you convert it into a single digit. So J, which is the 10th letter in the alphabet, the way you convert it into a single digit number is by adding 1 plus 0, which equals 1. J in reverse is the 17th letter, and 1 plus 7 equals 8. So that's what the meaning of these 2 ciphers are. You're reducing each letter into a single digit number. And again, there's other ciphers, but you really don't need all these other ciphers. These 4 ciphers here, that's all you need, because those are the base ciphers. John Thompson, and his name also sums to 157 like Kobe Bryant. It also sums to 167 to 39 prime, and Kemba Walker equals 39. So that might be the reason why Mr. Kemba Walker shot the 59 point of that game, paid tribute to John Thompson. So, yeah. And there's going to be a lot of more people dying in connection to these finals. I'm waiting for Bill Russell. Bill Russell's 86 years old. His full name sums to 86. So there's a lot of people around Kemba Walker dying. A lot of former UConn players. But that's all I have. You guys take care. And you guys have a great rest of your night.